to Revisiting the Mania, your absolute favorite spot for reliving wrestling chaos, nostalgia, our comedic genius. I am Maria.
And I'm Carlos.
I'm your wrestling mark in training.
And I'm the longtime viewer, as you can see in the scroll below. I've seen this WrestleMania, and I think I've reviewed this WrestleMania with the people from Podcast Championship Wrestling. So,
Today we're going back to WrestleMania 37, and that's the year 2021. We're in year 2025, and this is the first WrestleMania with fans back. So if you're curious as to why the fans are back, what we mean is the fans are back in person. So there was a stint where fans were not present because of
COVID. COVID hit the United States and the whole world in 2020. So instead of canceling the show, Vince had the show go on, and we got WrestleMania 36, which we reviewed I think 3 or 4 months ago because we filled in with some movie reviews and little tidbits here and there.
Yep. So the fans are back. The first time wrestling crowds were allowed to make noise other than yelling into Twitter,
Or
Instagram.
if you were part of the virtual audience that was invited to be in I believe they called it the Thunderdome
Really?
during the COVID times.
Okay, so the crowd was loud, excited to be back in person at this WrestleMania. We had the opportunity to see Roman turn heel again.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, he wasn't really that much heel until he started becoming the head of the table. This is the beginning. This is the building blocks of the bloodline right here being put in there. Jay comes in and he's his right hand man, and we're coming and going here. But before
we get to see lots of pyro.
Yeah.
And do we want to set the stage?
We'll set the stage, and I always like to start off with a picture of the set. If I could find it here.
Which set?
Of the set of the WrestleMania. There we go. The setup, the boat, the stage, everything you can see there. And I'm pretty sure this is how the WrestleMania 36 stage and everything would have appeared if they did not have to postpone it and not have audience in person. So this is the second time. I guess this was a do-over type of thing because Vince didn't have to buy a new set. He didn't have to do anything. And yes, we still have Vince booking everything here.
So this is a 2-night event.
Yes.
And we are going to go over night 1 and 2 in this podcast, if you're curious. April 10th, April 11th at the Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida.
Yes.
And surprise, surprise, we have 2 guest hosts. One, Hulk Hogan, rest in peace, sir, and Titus O'Neil. So they served as hosts of this event.
And here they are night 2. Night 2, they got to dress up as pirates or buccaneers, I guess you can say, because that is where they're playing. It is the home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Isn't there that show called The Buccaneers too?
There is, but that has nothing to do with these type of Buccaneers. Okay. That's more of a rom-com set in the early or mid 1800s.
So we had a total, if you're curious, of 17,946 people in attendance, but that's just for night 1. Night 2, we had a total of 18,501 people in attendance. So the total for night 1 and 2 is 40,806.
And I'm pretty sure that's because of the COVID protocols. You can't have too many packed into the stadium. When you're watching this, you can actually see people are masked, and it was a choice.
Right.
You could have masked or unmasked, but we won't get into that. But that was the reason why it was kindly poorly attended. You can say it's not because of the card.
Well, there were limitations, which was appropriate for the time, of course. So today, as we walk through WrestleMania 37, we're looking to hear feedback from you. Did you attend? Were you there live? Were you part of the Thunderdome?
Were you that Cubs fan that was right there in the middle of my view that I was like, wow, there's a Cubs fan right here?
I saw that.
Or were
too.
you the Mexican who was holding up the Mexican flag? If you managed to watch this, please reach out to us. Send us an email. Give us, rate a comment below. Tell us how your experience went and attending the first post-COVID WrestleMania. So without further ado, let's get to match one of day one of WrestleMania 37. Which,
Bobby Lashley?
yes, we have Bobby Lashley defending his WWE Championship versus Drew McIntyre.
Which is a favorite of yours.
Yes.
So this match went on for a total of 18 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yes.
I'm definitely a fan of Bobby Lashley. So as we know, he was legit a former MMA fighter.
He was also a United States veteran. So thank you for your service, Bobby Lashley.
So he is also about 6'3" and 273 pounds at that point in time. So that's a body that you cannot move. And I definitely appreciated his style of wrestling, especially with that MMA experience.
Yeah. So Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, who were you rooting for when you saw them coming down the ramp?
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley. Okay. You're more of a Drew McIntyre, I always thought, but it's different. I see. Okay. So how did you like this match? I felt like this was like a heavyweight type of match.
Like
something like we would get like with a Brock Lesnar or a Roman Reigns.
Right.
But these guys are more technically sound, especially Bobby Lashley, because he does have that MMA background.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think? What were your emotions like seeing these guys?
I like the comparison that you just talked about, right? Because their aesthetics, physiques are more brawler type wrestlers. Even though their physiques are that of a brawler, they definitely have wrestling technique down. And I thought this was the perfect way to set up night one of WrestleMania 37. It was definitely a good match. And it was great to see both of these phenomenal wrestlers spar with each other for that first match. What did you think?
I thought it, like I mentioned to you, I thought this was a great opener. Looking at this card, the only other match that we could probably have start as the number one, or what they call it, curtain jerk open to the WrestleMania card. If not Seth Rollins, Cesaro, we could probably have the women. But now we've already set out that the women are gonna main event, so that would probably defeat the purpose. So this was a good opener because, like you mentioned, heavyweights that can actually move, and we see this example of Drew McIntyre, one of the few tall men who can actually leap over the top ropes into a splash onto Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Now, other than that, is there anything else besides the somersault dive to the outside or anything else that sticks out to you for this match?
So a few call outs from Drew that I have for match one is that he hit 3 future shock DDTs and Lashley still was able to kick out. Mm-hmm. We had Lashley counter the, what is it? Is it called the Claymore?
The Claymore kick that Drew McIntyre uses as his finisher, yes.
With a really good spear tease. We also see the Hurt Lock locked deep in, and we see Drew do that good fade out. So we're kind of like drawn into the match. Like, is this going to be the pin and the win? Is it?
Right.
So that was pretty.
Yeah, because Drew McIntyre, just to get more, is he had won in WrestleMania 36, so he was a man of the people. He won. He was on fire going into that match. He beat Brock Lesnar for that title, and he did it in front of nobody because there was no audience. And this was pretty much like wrestling marks, wrestling fans who wanted to have Drew McIntyre beat Bobby Lashley. So this is pretty much everyone rooting for for Drew McIntyre to beat Bobby Lashley.
Great.
It did a great job of having people, marks, fans cheer for their hero, but unfortunately he falls short.
Yeah, we saw
And
Drew.
but he doesn't pass out from the hurt lock. I mean, he doesn't tap out to the hurt lock. He passes out.
He tried to break that hurt lock like it was a Walmart bike lock. So
okay,
you don't break the hurt lock. The hurt lock breaks you.
All right. Never heard that one before, but okay. So with this great heavyweight opener, and do you feel that this match is worth a revisit?
I think it is a revisit. I think it was an excellent way to start off WrestleMania 1 or WrestleMania 37 match 1. Got the crowd that momentum, like what's in store for us. Is it going to be a good night? And we see that Lashley, it was a solid match. Definitely a revisit for me. And I appreciate that these two gentlemen, again, like we talked about in the beginning, is that they have these brawler physiques and were able to execute wrestling moves. It was good to see.
Yeah. As for me, as if you were looking to see if you're getting into wrestling right now and you haven't seen that much of Bobby Lashley, because Bobby Lashley had been wrestling already since 2006 or 8.
Yeah, he's been in 5 WrestleManias.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No. Especially now that he's transitioned over to AEW since he was released late last year. So if you're into wrestling and you want to see more of Bobby Lashley, this would be a great match. Also a great introduction to Drew McIntyre, right, as well as a face version of him, because now he's more of a heel as he's battling, and he still hasn't had that title reign that he had in WrestleMania 36. So you can see the progression, like storyline wise, and why he's kind of bitter of not having that title reign. So
he's been in 9 WrestleManias to date. So
this was be recommended if you're looking for more of a backstory, more why Drew McIntyre is the way he is, and if you want to have more of a catalog for Bobby Lashley. But as far as like just revisiting this match just because it's a good, like the greatest wrestling, it's good, but it's not great.
Is it great? No. Is it good? Yes. Yeah. Is it a good way to kick off 37? Yes.
So
with that, we go to match number
2, which is a women's tag team turmoil, which kind of you can say is an eliminator match where the team that keeps winning progresses until there's no more teams, and then the stipulation is if whoever wins here faces Nia and Shayna Baszler, who hold the women's tag team championships on night 2 of WrestleMania 37.
Okay.
Yep. So with this, we start off with Naomi and Lana.
This match goes on for 14 minutes and 15 seconds.
Right. And they face Carmella and Billie Kay. I'm assuming this is one of the times where Peyton Royce is not available because she might have been having her first child.
I thought Billie Kay did a great job. She was sliding into those pins like she was stealing home plate. So we saw her up and down in the ring, which is pretty cool. What did you think about the Riot Squad?
The Riot Squad making their WrestleMania debut besides Billie Kay and what the women we get later on, Mandy Rose. And
did you think their combos looked crisp?
The Riot Squad? Yeah, because they had been more of a tag team. They actually have Liv Morgan and Ruby Riot, who is now known as Ruby Soho, and is taking a maternity leave right now at AEW. So they have been more of a team with another lady named Sarah Logan, who was currently the manager of the Viking Raiders because she was married to one of them. I don't remember which one, but she has now been released, so she's no longer wrestling.
Dang.
So just to give people more feedback on this. So with that, Naomi and Lana lose, and that kind of makes sense because they're kind of a throw together tag team, and Lana is still not very good at wrestling. She's okay, but she's not going to give you any classic matches. So that would be why they lost to Carmella and Billie Kay. The Riot Squad comes in and they beat Carmella and Billie Kay. And then after the Riot Squad are holding court, they face Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. They beat Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. And then in comes Natalia and Tamina. Natalia, the daughter of Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and Tamina, who is the daughter of Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Wrestling Legacy, Natalia, Natty.
Yes, both of them, yes. So with
Wait,
this,
can I do this? Is it this way?
For what? The
heart? Little heart?
Yeah. It's not gonna pop up.
No?
No, it only happens with Apple products. We don't have an Apple.
Well, but I just want to throw up the heart for Natty because
like,
I do love you, Natty. Fan of your longtime wrestling.
There you go. So Natalia and Tamina advance over the Riot Squad. What did you think about this match? Like you said, it goes over 14 minutes, right?
Well, yeah, I love a Natty, like you said, third generation Hart family legend, right? Definitely known for her technical wrestling, and Tamina's a powerhouse. She's quiet but also terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
So some of my favorite moments were Billie Kay sliding around the ring.
Mm-hmm. Baseball slide extraordinaires.
Yes. That double team that Riot had, their combos were pretty good. And we saw a Superfly splash from Tamina that shook that ring. Mm-hmm. It was pretty powerful. So you're wondering, like, was this a solid match? This match was fine. But I can't say that it's a revisit for me. Was it a revisit for you?
Yeah, with this one, it showcases all of these tag teams because they had just got these tag team belts introduced into the ecosystem of the championship titles of the WWE.
Right.
So they're trying to build these tag team titles for this company or for this brand or for whatever you want, however you want to call it. So we're like, okay, well, we need to do it. Why not go ahead and have this done at WrestleMania?
I will say Natty and Tamina winning felt like when your mom and your aunt finally beat all the cousins in a family cookout competition. So it gave me that kind of energy. And I think they earned that night too title shot, like you mentioned earlier.
So I think these were the final years of the Tamina run. Mm-hmm. She does end up retiring, so it's kind of like trying to give her flowers type of thing, trying to give her some money, trying to have her be active in TV too. Yeah. So as far as is this match worth a revisit, like we normally do, like pretty much the crowd was quiet for me. Like we're watching this match, and the only time the crowd really popped was when Liv Morgan and Ruby, the Riot Squad, are in there.
Right.
Was I the only one that got there, or did you?
No, get that too? Same vibes. Was this match solid? Yes, but it could have been on like a Monday Night Raw. So to me, for this to be like a WrestleMania 37 revisit, I'd say pass. But of course, if you're into nostalgia, definitely watch these ladies as they are legacy wrestling and they're great wrestlers.
All right. And with that, we'll move on to the next match on the card. Match number 3. Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. This is before he has freaking added to his name.
Okay. This match goes for a total of 11 minutes and 35 seconds.
Yeah. So who were you rooting for?
Was I rooting for the Swiss Superman? No.
What? Okay.
I was rooting for Seth Rollins, who's our multi-time champ, our drip god, has more nicknames than most people have socks.
Yeah. That's pretty much accurate. He's the visionary. He is the revolutionary. He is Seth freaking Rollins, right? So Cesaro, who unfortunately is also one of these people who are no longer with the company. Mm-hmm. He is also wrestling now at AEW, and just had a pretty good match in Full Gear about a week ago on AEW with being part of the brand of the Death Riders. So you were rooting for Seth Rollins. Is there anything that sticks out to you about this match?
Well, what sticks out to me for this match was Cesaro's 23 rep airplane
The
spin.
giant swing? You mean this one?
Yes. This UFO spin. Rollins hits a Falcon Arrow.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good. Looked pretty clean, nice and tidy. But we saw this move twice, right?
Yeah, he did it once for I think 10, but this is the one that we has the one that goes for 23 rotations of this giant swing.
Cesaro spun sets so fast he probably remembered every bed outfit he's ever wore. Is it bad or is it eclectic? We'll say eclectic.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we saw that UFO spin not once but twice. So that to me was like when you're playing video games and you use the same move over and over, much like somebody's F5 that we see on repeat over and over and over again. So that was kind of tiring for me. What did you think of this match?
I thought this match was good. This was like for the time that's given. For these guys, these are veteran guys, both of them here. Like you said, Rollins hits Cesaro with a superplex and then a Falcon Arrow, which is a good spot in this match. There's this one spot where Seth Rollins is going for the stomp. And like we've seen in WrestleMania, I believe it's 32. Mm-hmm. Where Randy Orton RKOs, he launches Seth Rollins and RKOs Seth Rollins out of the air. They attempted to do something similar to this, but he doesn't get launched as high, so it's a short fall as he falls into the European uppercut that Cesaro does. So, go ahead.
No. Oh, it sounds like this was it for you.
It is. If you want to see more of why the company trusts Seth Rollins so much.
Go on, tell us more.
So Seth Rollins has been proven to work, whether it's a long match or it's a short match. Has he had injury problems when he's come to having an undisputed or universal championship run at inopportune times? Yes, but there's a reason why, and to be able to deliver a match here, with a little bit of a short story build and have like an 11-minute match with someone who Cesaro, I think if you wanted to condense his WWE career into something he's remembered for being a tag team with Sheamus,
right,
when they were the Bar, and I think the other one is the League of Nations. Yeah, we are the Bar. Remember that one? They would have their fingers together like that. Yeah, here's the other way around. But yeah, and then so I think he gave Cesaro. Yeah. But he gave Cesaro a WrestleMania moment that he probably deserved, even though he didn't get too much push when it came to the WWE. So if you want to watch it for that and to see Seth Rollins, prove himself why he is the commodity he is, go ahead and watch it. But as far as like something to add to your repertoire or knowledge of why, as a WrestleMania revisit, no.
Cesaro wins by pinfall. Not a revisit for me. It's a pass. And with that, we go to match number 4, AJ Styles and Omos versus the
New Day. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, and this match goes for
9 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yeah, so this is Omos making his WrestleMania debut, and this is for the Raw Tag Team Championship here.
This is almost as exciting as I was just trying to do a play on words.
Okay, well, let's do a play on heights. Because look at the height differential. Now we got this picture of when they first get into the ring between AJ Styles, the ref, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods.
Well, if you're wondering how tall Almost is, he is 7'3". This is his first in-ring debut, and he moves like the final boss in a video game. Was this his first and last WrestleMania?
No, he's in other
Okay, so we
WrestleManias
see him
after
again.
this. Yes, he's still with the company. He has not been called up on the roster. The last I heard, he was doing some work in All Japan, and that's about it as far as like anything else. He's been rumored to be brought back up into the main roster.
You almost saw him.
Yeah, but nothing else.
Nothing.
Yeah. Do you have anything? Were you rooting for AJ Styles and Almost? I know you're an AJ Styles fan.
I am a fan of AJ Styles, but I am also a fan of New Day because New Day rocks.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought this was a pretty decent match, fun tag team. And like you said, fan of AJ, he is one of the best technical wrestlers, and he is a 2 times WWE multiple time world champ. So don't forget that shit.
No, don't forget that shit. But you still make a choice. So who New Day?
So ultimately, I was rooting for the New Day.
Hey.
I can't help it. Their intros, their costumes, their charisma, the wrestling, so good for me.
Made that gimmick work where other stables have been maybe going for about a year. The Judgment Day is only one that's about either 4 or 5 years going now. So to make that gimmick work, that stable work for 10 plus years already, kudos to them, and especially now that they're kind of rebranding it back to the heel stable that it started off as. So as for that, would you recommend that anyone go back and watch this?
This was a solid match worth a revisit. I love the energy. Also, that no energy almost tag was pretty hilarious. So again, it's a revisit. What about you? What do you think?
I would say that it's a revisit if you are looking to see how a big man should be booked. This is like Almost is bigger than everybody, like I showed you in the picture.
So you like the juxtaposition of Xavier at 5'11" and Almost at 7'3".
Well, he's the juxtaposition or the difference to everybody. He's a giant, and he played it as a giant. And there are moments where people no sell. That means like if I smack you, you don't react. You don't be like, "Oh, you hurt me." And it's true that that's how he should be reacting because they're all very petite compared to him.
They're a little shorter.
Yeah, so it's that's the way. I think recently Kevin Nash gave some advice to Raquel Rodriguez about how she should be working better. She is technically bigger than most of the women on the roster, except for like Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax, like physically.
Right.
But she's taller. So he's like, if you are a big woman, you should act big, have a big presence.
Big personality.
Yeah. So this is something that Almost is showing here. He's a big, giant man. He shouldn't be reacting to getting chopped or getting anything like that. So that is what I'm saying. Like, this is how you book a big man. This is how you book a fearsome presence, someone that's going to be wrecking the company or wrecking the division, the men's division or the tag team division later on. But unfortunately, spoiler alert, guys, it doesn't go that way. So there are things that happen because Almost is not a very good talker on the mic, and he's very limited in the ring, and it bounds to happen because he's a very tall man. But
and a racket.
If you're interested in booking a wrestling match or booking anything storyline wise or anything like that, that would be a reason why I would look at this match. But as far as a casual fan, it was like, man, I need to see something about Almost. They keep talking about this guy. No, this is not the match for that.
You almost had me interested. Also, a reminder to check yourself before you
wreck yourself. And with that, We move on. Oh, I like this little celebration at the end. That's
That's a
just
good one.
this totem pole celebration
Wow. Look at him.
of the new tag team champions.
That's a good one. So that takes us to match single.
Yeah, on the
Match number
card.
5.
Yes, Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon in a steel cage match.
This match goes for 11 minutes and 25 seconds.
Really? Okay.
You're a fan of Braun.
No, I am not a fan of Braun. I am a fan of Shane.
I am a fan of Shane.
Yes, but let's go.
One of the only McMahons at this point in time.
So with this, so I'm assuming you were rooting for Shane.
What?
You were rooting for Shane?
Shane.
All right, and this match goes for 11 minutes.
We have a Jerry Lawler sighting.
Yeah, Jerry Lawler returns to the announcement booth.
Also, the intros for both of these gentlemen are pretty awesome. So those were pretty cool introductions.
Mm-hmm.
We get the bunnies with Shane.
No, that's a Bad Bunny.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. What was the introduction for this one? Because I thought it was good enough to note.
I don't think I have it.
I'm gonna have to add in the comments.
Yeah, if you
remember, if you were there
and took pictures, while we try to upload these later into the comments.
Were you surprised to see Jerry Lawler in the audience or as a
guest commentator? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I was, but we have to remember that Samoa Joe is there, and he's normally not like a full-time commentator.
Okay.
He was made one because of the health issues that he was having, and he like Bryan Danielson, Edge, who we see later on in WrestleMania, both of them in WrestleMania Day 2,
right?
Are those people didn't think he would wrestle again, and now Samoa Joe is wrestling. And spoiler alert: if you did not watch AEW's Full Gear, he is now the 2-time AEW Men's World Champion.
Wow!
So with that.
So Strowman 6'8", he's known for flipping vehicles when he gets angry.
Yeah, pretty much.
And we already know, if you don't know who Shane McMahon is,
you should
ask your mom. I am a mom, so I'll tell you. Who is he? He's a CEO's son. I think he's a daredevil. And he pretty much, I've seen him jump off of anything.
The top of steel cages, onto announce tables, on top of the Titantron when there was a Titantron in the early 2000s of WWE pay-per-views, and dropped an elbow into the abyss of random tables that were set below. So
yeah. So I'm not a fan of sheet metal or of Strowman tossing Shane from the top of the steel cage. But that's what took place during this match.
Yeah, we also had this fun spot where Shane is on the outside and Braun got a hold of him. He ripped open that cage and got a hold of him here. So this match had a lot of things here. We also seen Shane use that coast to coast that he took from RVD, who was announced here as a Hall of Fame inductee of Night 2 at WrestleMania. So what did you think of this match? Was it something that you liked? Did you like anything else in particular besides the sheet metal?
Yeah. So
there was also a toolbox that was used at the top of the cage that Shane uses to beat Braun with. Was there anything else?
Well, I was going to say, when I saw him tossed off the steel cage, it gave me memories of when Mankind was tossed off of
the Hell in a Cell.
In a Hell in a Cell. So that was like a flashback for me. But what was I going to say? Some of my favorite spots are when, like you said, Shane hits a coast to coast in a cage. Braun rips the cage open like aluminum foil, which is that spot that you just showed. And then Strowman throws Shane off the top like a sack of laundry. So all of those led me to my final decision of this being a revisit for WrestleMania 37, because it was pretty cool.
All right. So as a new person, first time watching this, you recommend that people watch it just because it pretty much gives you like all of the violence or
fun. There was some violence,
Yeah.
some surprises. You know, definitely on theme. You see Shane with the sunken chest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, part of that pirate theme
Yeah.
because of the beatings that he's getting. And then, like we talked about, every WrestleMania, Shane picks a new way to almost meet his ancestors because we're like, is he going to make it? Is he not? And he does.
Well, I think, spoiler alert, I think there's one more WrestleMania match in him.
Really?
Yeah, there's one more, I believe, that is his last one. And it gets called off early, but I won't tell you which one it is.
Shoot.
So, with that, would me as a longtime fan recommend that you, if you made it this far, don't forget to give us a like and hit subscribe.
Subscribe, share
But
us.
also, I try to get as much information from my memory and from the research I get to do. So if there's something I miss or if there's something that you think you know a little bit better, don't feel free to go ahead and share it down below into the comments. But I do not recommend that a longtime fan or a newer fan that is looking to get into watching wrestling or knowing more about Braun Strowman. Like, Braun Strowman's out of the company. Now, will he ever come back to WWE? Maybe. I guess now you can't say never say never. With Vince was the one that always held grudges, and now with this TKO company being on the forefront of the WWE brand, I can see as long as it's there to make money, they'll bring someone back, as we have seen.
Oh, that's true. Look at what do we have in our life right now?
Slip and slide Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
So with that one, we can say, as a longtime fan, don't come back and revisit this one. But if you want to see Daredevil Shane as a newer fan, feel free to spend 12 minutes or so to watch this match.
So that takes us to one of the most talked about matches of night one for WrestleMania 37. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus The Miz and Morrison.
Yeah, and this match goes for how long?
It goes for 15 minutes, 5 seconds, as we said, tag team match. So Bad Bunny, for those of you that don't know, which I'd be surprised that who doesn't know him. So again, this is back in 2021. At that point in time, global music superstar. Did pretty good with the wrestling. One of my favorite celebrity wrestlers to date. I know that you're a big fan of Maria Menounos wrestling.
I was not, but let's continue with that.
I know you're a big fan of...
If someone was
that chick from Jersey Shore.
Yes, unfortunately, she was the best celebrity at that point in time that had impressed me in the ring, wrestling wise.
Why am I blanking on her name?
Snooki.
What else? I think he trained for months to wrestle for this event. So he had the opportunity to wrestle with Damian Priest, who is still in WWE today, right?
Yes, Damian is still in.
Pretty popular. Total height 6'5", one of the coolest voices in wrestling. And one of my favorite spots of that match was when Bad Bunny hit a Canadian destroyer on Morrison. And then we had another perfect tag team, some good tag team teamwork with Priest. So I think it's hard to pull off that kind of work when you're...
definitely, especially if you're not practicing that on the regular and things like that. So we also have a high flying spot from Bad Bunny here.
He does a crossbody.
Where he does, I guess it's more of a dive onto Miz and Morrison. So it's safe to say that pretty much you were rooting for Bad Bunny and Damian Priest in this match, right? Over the Miz and Morrison.
I am a fan of the Miz.
Okay.
But Bad Bunny and Priest came out on top for me.
Okay. So with this, is there any other spots? Because I do, just like we have mentioned here, Maria gave the spoiler alert away, Bad Bunny has been one of my favorite celebrities to get into the WWE ring and actually do a decent job. Normally, like when the match starts off, it's the actual WWE talent that handle it. But they were so confident in Bad Bunny and his in-ring debut that they let him start off the match with The Miz. And that is a very great sign of trust, not only by Vince, but also everyone else in that ring with them. So to be able to get that just for that, and I think that this match is something that you should revisit. As far as if you are looking to see the Miz, why he's had a long and storied career with the WWE, and why he's also one of those people who was trusted greatly with Vince.
Great wrestling gear too.
Yeah, both of them, and also with Hunter. He hasn't been used as much lately, but he has been put in when he is needed, whether he is needed to help talent along when he was paired up with Carmelo Hayes, or if he needed to fill in recently on SmackDown as a mystery opponent against to fill in for the injured Sheamus and the last time is now tournament. The Miz is ready to do whatever and he needs to do for the business. So, with that, what else do you have with this match that sticks out to you?
Really, that's it. I'd say this is a revisit, definitely entertaining and something that you want to see during WrestleMania. Like, you don't want to see the unexpected, you want to see the exciting, and this was definitely it. This did it for me as a mark in training. So I'd say revisit this match.
Definitely, yeah. With that, I don't have anything else to say about this match, just other than go out and watch it and see the victorious Bad Bunny and Damian Priest when they come back for Backlash. And I believe it's still this year.
Nice.
And when they have a Backlash in Puerto Rico, if it's not 2021, it's 2022. It was the first ever pay-per-view that was held in Puerto Rico, and Bad Bunny returns to have a match in that pay-per-view.
I mean, at this point, musician, part-time wrestler, actor.
He was an actor. I was about to point out he was in that what was that?
It wasn't a John Wick movie. What was it with I can't even the name of it. We'll have to look it up.
Yeah. So while we're doing that, Maria's looking it up so we can get you the answer. But he is in a movie. He was in Happy Gilmore too.
Oh.
He was the caddy. That's the way I'd seen him recently for that. Thank you.
So he's in Bullet Train.
He was also in Bullet Train. Thank you.
And quite a few other movies as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah. And then we'll be seeing you during halftime. So can't wait to see what that's gonna look like. Mm-hmm. 2025, right?
Yeah, 2025. 2026. Oh, is it February of 2026 is when the Super Bowl will be taking place.
Super Bowl 2026.
Yeah. The thing that we did miss before we finish and wrap up WrestleMania Day 1 is the WWE Hall of Fame class. This one was supposed to have Batista, but he withdrew.
Really?
And the latest rumor is that now Batista is going to be inducted into the 2026 WrestleMania 42 Hall of Fame class, but it hasn't been announced as of yet. So with this one, the main event after Batista was the induction of the NWO, which, as you can see from here, wait 1 second, they were too sweet of induction, but Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Hollywood Hulk Hogan, as when he was in the NWO was known, were inducted. Oh, also Sean Waltman, X-Pac, but they were inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2020, along with the Bella Twins.
I thought that was a good one. Like you said, pretty cool faction, and they had a major impact on the wrestling. on wrestling at that time.
Wrestling
New World
history.
Order, New World Order, badass. Some of my favorite wrestlers. Love Scott Hall.
Yeah, rest in peace, Scott Hall.
Kevin
And
Nash.
Kevin Nash is still going, so not rest in
Mhm.
peace for him. But yes, and Sean Waltman, X Pac.
Then you said we had the Bella twins.
Mm-hmm.
Highly influential. And who just made their debut back to wrestle?
Nikki Bella, who will also be wrestling later today, is at Survivor Series versus Stephanie Vaquer.
JBL, WWE champion. And is he still a commentator?
He is time to time commentator. I believe he does some commentating when they have the AAA cards down in Mexico.
And then Titus O'Neil was honored with the Warrior Award.
Yes.
And if you are not sure about what the Warrior Award is, that is for
someone who does some great stuff for the community, that the WWE and like donations or time of service. This was pretty much for all his work that he did in Tampa Bay, where he resides and has a very good connection with the Boys and Girls Club.
And then the British Bulldog, who is one of your favorites, right?
Yeah, he was one of my favorites. Growing up in the 80s.
National wrestler.
An international wrestler who married into the Hart family. So with that one, we also have what else do we have here? Jushin Thunder Liger. That's the one I'm missing. Who is a wrestler, a Japanese wrestler who came across times here, and I believe he was in a Royal Rumble in the WWE.
And then one of our celebrity favorites, or at least mine, because I grew up watching this with my family, William Shatner.
Yes, William Shatner is inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
So he was a surprise celebrity inductee.
Yeah, he probably took over for the Batista one. So with that is our Hall of Fame class of 2020. And that brings us to the main event of night one of WrestleMania night one. This is Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks.
This is awesome. This is awesome. Did you think it was as great as I thought it was?
I thought it was a very good match for this pay-per-view. This was they have lots of good matches with women, and this is when like the women are getting their shot to quote unquote main event of WrestleMania.
The SmackDown Women's Championship at 17 minutes and 15 seconds. This is the main event for night one, correct?
Yes.
And deservedly so, because these two ladies are some of my favorite wrestlers. Wrestling gear on point, wrestling on point, and just a lot of fun in the ring. This is a really good match. What was your favorite part of this match?
With this one, there's a whole bunch of things that I liked here. I liked that there was you saw a lot of mat wrestling with these two ladies,
right?
And they're both very technically sound. But as you can see, Bianca is a very more defined woman.
She's strong.
She is very strong. And Sasha is not as muscly defined, but muscular. Still strong in their own right. But these ladies are very, I guess you can say, genre defining. Like when I think about the women's division,
wow,
they are one of those women that, especially Sasha Banks, now that she's known as Mercedes Moné in AEW and the belt collector, she has now won 13 titles.
So you're saying they've set a standard.
Yes.
At that point in time, this is like we've had these standards.
Well, especially Sasha, because she's not only debuted the tag team titles
Right.
when they first came out in 2018
Well,
for the
she is
women.
the blueprint.
That's what they do call her. Michael Cole makes sure that they set out there in the into the commentary booth. But
She is a 6-time women's champion.
thank you very much.
And she is one of the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah, she the first Hell in a Cell. She did the first women's Iron Man match or Iron Woman match. So she has been there when the WWE has been looking to take their women's division up another notch.
And Bianca Belair, the EST, is the strongest, the fastest, the toughest. That's how excited I am about this match.
Yeah, so this match went for how long? 17 minutes and 15 seconds, which is a pretty good amount of time given to these ladies to work. So there was lots of athletic counters, reversals. I like that Bianca hit a delayed vertical suplex on Sasha. The other thing that sticks out to me in here is when there's a 450 splash for Bianca onto Sasha, and that's very impressive because you don't see a lot of women busting out and trying to do a 450 splash out of things.
Well, we also see Bianca catching Sasha out of midair, and then she walks in the ring with her. You know, I've seen Bianca pick up a wrestler, hold her straight into the air.
That was the vertical suplex, yes.
From walking outside of the ring, the inside of the ring. And I asked Carlos, I'm like, tell me when you've seen that before. And have we seen that since? Because that was awesome. Super cool.
Yeah. And there anything else that stood out to you here as far as
the hair whip?
Oh yes, the very infamous hair whip from Bianca's long ponytail, which I guess we keep getting at a WrestleMania now because I think most recently Liv Morgan took one of those at Elimination Chamber. She also ended up with the same type of welt that Sasha Banks takes here as she loses her SmackDown Women's Championship to the new SmackDown Women's Champion, making her technically her first WrestleMania debut in front of the crowd. Bianca Belair.
Hey, Sasha is no stranger to a title, but it's Bianca's night. Clearly, she was outstanding in this match, and definitely one of the best ways to wrap up the first night of WrestleMania 37.
And with this, would you recommend anyone go back and revisit this, and why?
Yes, I would definitely recommend that you revisit this for all the things that I just mentioned before. We saw Bianca take knees to the body, which, ouch. But the intros, the wrestling, the gear, all of it, very impressive, very cool. Also, the ring psychology that they both had, they both worked really well with each other. And it's definitely a revisit for me.
Yeah. And for me, as far as why we should revisit it, whether you're a newer fan or a longtime fan, it's a very big monumental match. This is the first WrestleMania where two women of color are main eventing this. Eventually, we get another one where there's two women of color, but also a ref of color that's in the main event of WrestleMania. But this is, the women's division keep pushing the seeding further and keep breaking through barriers and progressing the division more. And I feel like this is one of the matches you have to watch, not only for her historical, but it's a very good match. It's very well told, as my wife points out there. The cockiness, the bravado of Sasha Banks leads to the eventual downfall of her losing this to the up-and-coming, never quitting EST of the WWE.
Yeah. And with that,
we'll move on to night two of WrestleMania. And we start this off with Randy Orton
And the Fiend,
versus Bray
Bray
Wyatt
Wyatt.
coming back as the Fiend. And this match goes for
5 minutes and 50 seconds.
woo. So with this, we had a very unique type of match where this is most of the Fiend's matches for some reason needed to be done under the red light. So throughout this 5-minute match, we have a red light hue happening. Maria, you're a fan of Randy.
Yes, he's a 4-time world champ.
And what about Bray Wyatt, rest in peace, in his Fiend persona?
He's a horror movie character brought to life. We've seen him multiple times with the mind games that he plays in wrestlers. This mask that he's wearing in this match is certainly creepy. Definitely a great wrestler. Some of the best spots of this match were when Bray returned from the box with that restored mask.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alexa's distraction with that black ooze was pretty creepy. Then we get an RKO from out of nowhere. And that's pretty cool. So, spoiler alert to everybody, TLC is not tender loving care. It's tables, ladders, and chairs. I just kind of felt like it wasn't enough time with this match. I felt like I was missing something. And ultimately, this was a pass for me. What about you?
Yeah, this match was a very short match, and I'm not sure why it would be booked that way. We do get this fun introduction entrance to it where Alexa is kind of under the Fiend spell, and he pops out of a Jack in the I guess a Jack in the Box, right? Type
Yeah.
of thing. So there's the Fiend making his entrance, but yeah, most of this, and here's where you're talking about where the Fiend is distracted by Alexa Bliss in the wardrobe change, all black, kind of looking like.
The storyline is confusing. It needed a map, a compass, and a therapist. It was all over the place. But you watch wrestling more consistently than I do. So, what did you feel?
This is basically they had paired them up together, and then this is Alexa pretty much trying to take over and control. I believe it was controlling the Fiend.
Okay.
And being Sister Abigail.
Mm.
So why she would distract the Fiend or Bray Wyatt to lose this match, I still don't understand. But other than that, just like Randy Orton, I am also shocked and confused, and I really don't care either. Now, do I recommend that anyone go back and watch this match? No.
No, it's a pass. And then we lose, even with us losing him, Bray, sorry, a few years later or several years later, I would say this match is a pass for me. We have better matches. And if you have any recommendations on a better match with him, add it to the comment. We'd love to watch it, but this was a pass for me. And with that, that takes us to match number 3 of night 2.
Match number 2 of night 2.
What do? Match number 2
has
of night 2.
Tamina and Nia, like we
Natalya,
mentioned.
Natty.
Yeah.
Nia Jax, Shayna
And
Baszler,
Baszler,
14 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, Natalya and Tamina won the tag team turmoil on night 1 to advance to face the Raw or the tag team champions here. So with this, who were you rooting for? Still Natty and Tamina, or were you on Nia and Shayna Baszler?
Natty and Tamina. So I thought this match for night 2 was a solid tag team match.
Okay.
But I didn't think it was anything like super cool or enough to do like a revisit for those watching or listening to us. Thank you to our listeners. We see Baszler apply a painful Karafuda clutch for the first submission victory, which was cool. But even with that, this match was average and not a WrestleMania revisit for me. It had a few good spots, but I wouldn't recommend it. What about you, Carlos?
With this one, I wouldn't recommend that people go back and revisit. Like, this was a solid match. We had the heels being heels. We even have like Nia Jax. You know, she likes to run her mouth, excuse me, during her match. Uh, and she has this line where she's like, "I'm King Kong," you know,
I'm King Kong
expletive.
bitch.
Yeah.
I'll say it for you.
So,
what else? That's it?
no, I'm just saying. It's
No, I'm
like,
like, is there the rest of that line or
no,
that's
that's it. That's
Oh,
like, so she, as you can see, is trying her best to get the crowd over to Tamina's side, over to Natalia's side,
right.
and you actually hear Tamina chants, and I can't remember. I don't remember that happening, and watching this again for the second time,
I think we watched
I'm
it like
like,
3 times,
well,
and I
yeah,
still was just like in between the children running back and forth 2-3 times of watching this, and still it was not as exciting as you would hope it would be for this to be a follow up from night one.
yeah. Like, if for some reason you are one of the people who are a Tamina Snuka fan,
Which
go out and watch it, because these are the rare instances where someone's actually rooting and cheering openly for Tamina. We don't have any of those on tape or video where she's a crowd favorite. And she was always booked with Nia or booked with, like, I think if it wasn't Nia, maybe Alexa, but she's always been booked as a heel. So to see her in a face, and like I said, I'm not sure when she actually retires. We can go ahead and look that up a little bit later on, but
Tamina retired.
yeah, but I think this is along where she's getting ready to retire, and this is them giving her flowers. And should they have won the tag titles? No, but I think sometimes they're following the whole thing of losing on your back, going on the losing on the way out type of thing.
Tamina retired in 2023.
Yeah, so we're in 2021, so it's happening. Because I don't remember her wrestling any further. Like, I think she takes like a year off, or she gets paid.
She remains under
yeah.
contract with WWE.
Yeah,
she's not on the active roster and there are no creative plans for her, suggesting she has retired from in-ring competition.
Yeah, her last active match was March of 2023. So,
but you could be retired and come back. We've seen that before.
Yeah, so
right?
I mean,
name a wrestler.
Well, Edge.
Okay, name another wrestler. Yes, the list goes on. Yeah, so we may see her again.
Yeah, but
we don't know.
Yeah, unless you're a Tamina fan, you really don't have to go back and revisit this. Go ahead. It's a good match for like a one-off.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah, if you just want to watch this just to watch it, because for some reason you're watching the whole WrestleManias like we are, yeah, good. You enjoyed at least a decent match after you had a 5-minute snoozer match before.
Or you have time to go grab a sandwich and chips.
Yeah.
With that, we go to match
number 3 of night 2.
And this is Kevin Owens, KO, versus Sami Zayn. Minutes, 20 seconds.
Yeah, and not to mention, you forgot to mention, not to mention, but you forgot to mention the appearance of Logan Paul, who is now a fixture.
We're going to talk about him in a little bit.
This is his first appearance on a WrestleMania stage, not as a talent. But
I hate that I love him as a heel. Like, he does really well as a heel, as a wrestler, physique, and it gets me mad.
He's doing his job then if he makes you mad.
Appropriate. Great job.
So with this, was there anything that you like? Were you cheering for Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn?
Yeah, I'm definitely cheering for Kevin Owens, KO. Okay. So these two have been fighting since when they're wrestling? Since they were like 18?
Probably.
Childhood friends, bitter enemies, best rivals. It has all of that.
Yeah, they grew up in the same province of Quebec. The Sami Zayn is built from Montreal, and we are visited Montreal. We are fans. of the city
We do
itself.
like Montreal.
And
Beautiful city.
I believe Kevin Owens is built from Marysville, Quebec, which is just outside. I think it's like an hour or an hour and a half outside of Montreal.
Okay.
So with that, as for me, I am a big Sami Zayn fan. He is a very, I think, underrated. And Dre from Podcast Championship Wrestling, if you're watching this,
hey Dre,
Sami Zayn is still good wrestler.
He probably
no
knows
matter
that.
what you say.
Oh, he doesn't care for him as a wrestler.
No.
I'd like to hear about that.
So with that, anything else that sticks out to you with that?
So we get a really good pop-up power bomb from Owens, right?
Mhm,
Perfect
yeah.
timing from him. We get a brain buster from Sammy on KO several times during this match. And then, like you brought up, Logan Paul, celebrity, also wrestler. Is he a full-time wrestler now?
No, he's still part-time.
At that point, he got stunned, probably into another tax bracket. That gentleman is probably like. So I thought this was good. It was fun.
The splash.
That's a great splash, great photo, and definitely worth a revisit. So, Sammy and Kevin, they fight like two cousins who got into it at Thanksgiving. We've seen it, we've heard it, you've heard about it, you've watched it on video. Except these cousins can do moonsaults, which was pretty awesome. So worth a revisit. KO with the win. Fight, Owens, fight. What do you think?
All right, with this match, like you mentioned, it was we can round it up. It's like 9 minutes 20 seconds. So I mean, have that much time to work with, which is I'm shocked because towards the end we have so much filler. Like we finished the last match. What was it? Once we get to Apollo Crews and the Nigerian drum fight, there's like an hour and a half still left, or an hour and 20 minutes left on Peacock.
Yeah.
That's including the ads and everything like that. But there's so much filler for the only two matches in the 2021 Hall of Fame class that's introduced.
Are they
here.
fully streaming on Peacock? In
right now, they're gonna. I believe it's gonna move on to ESPN.
ESPN.
But with this one, we're still watching on Peacock. So for a 10-minute match, it's a very good 10-minute match. We have lots of we have that Sami Zayn brainbuster, like you mentioned, on the apron. Lots of near falls on both sides. There's this exchange where there's an Sami Zayn does his exploder, like that falling slam into the turnbuckle to Kevin Owens, and he follows it up with the Blue Thunder Bomb too. So that's pretty good. But the finisher, like you said, it's we get the two super kicks from Kevin Owens and then the stunner. And then we get Logan Paul, who kind of seems standoffish and actually supporting Sami Zayn, gets in the ring and he tries to celebrate with KO. And he takes a stunner. Not very good, but he also takes a stunner from Kevin Owens. But if you have not had a chance to watch a Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn match, as far as WrestleMania is concerned, go ahead and watch this. But there are other matches that they have that are a lot better, especially in the Ring of Honor catalog, if you have access to that.
And I think this match did a good job of picking up the momentum for the fans during night 2 of WrestleMania, because that last match was a little lackluster. So the crowd went, woo,
like,
back up.
We needed like a match like this, like you mentioned, like as far as the crowd or the energy, like us being in a WrestleMania, we have experienced like lulls, and you needed this. You have the lull, pretty much. You started off where WrestleMania Night 1 started here because of the great match between Lashley and Drew McIntyre. Night 2 started here, and then it continued until the women's tag team matches had like a little bit,
right?
And then it goes back down because you have Tamina and Natalya losing, and then you have Logan Paul showing up with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and then it starts going up back. So now the crowd is back here, or you need them to be, because you can't have a crowd.
Who needs graphics when you have hands?
I did not expect to be having to do graphs, guys. None of this is planned out. Only our notes are the only things that we read off of. If you're looking for a mediocre podcast
you found it
that covers WrestleMania, you found it.
We're here.
And if you enjoy all of this and you made it this far, don't forget to subscribe. If you're listening to us on audio, don't forget to give us a review. A 5-star review helps us out. If you want to share with a friend, feel free to do so.
If you want to torment a friend,
feel free to do so too.
If you want to mess with their algorithm, also share us.
Yeah. So
with that, we go to match number 4, a Carlos favorite, Celtic wrestler Sheamus versus, and my favorite bro, Matt Riddle. U.S. Championship title, 10 minutes and 51 seconds.
Okay. So you're cheering for Matt Riddle. I didn't even have to ask you that. You answered your own question. So why does Matt Riddle, the bro, stick out to you?
So much fun. You know, I am gonna call Matt Riddle Daddy Longlegs because he's all legs, and those feet and legs are like a deadly combination. They were just all over the place. And he won. I like I like his persona, the wrestling persona. Pretty cool, very cool, like the bro. And I thought it was a good match. He's a good wrestler. All those long legs and feet just going everywhere.
So if we were going back to the graph, I'm not gonna do it, guys, but if you were going back to the graph, you were saying we're still going upwards.
We're peaking in that roller coaster. We're still climbing the roller coaster of, fun.
Speaking of Daddy Longlegs, you're talking about this when he does a moonsault out of a springboard moonsault off of the second rope to hit Sheamus.
Look at him flying with all those legs and feet, just ready to stop Sheamus down and around.
Now, was this something that we haven't seen a barefoot wrestler in the WWE?
This was also a question
since Rusev, I think, was the last one recently.
Yes.
But the first one was, I believe, Velvet McIntyre from WrestleMania 2. Mm-hmm. So how did it feel to have another person just being out there barefoot and their gimmick in the ring?
But he put his feet to use because they were everywhere. And Sheamus was getting smacked around with them. So very good use of your feet. So kudos to you on your feetsies being
in his mixed martial arts background.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. He looks like he has a body for an MMA fighter, so that makes sense. Some of my favorite spots of this match were we saw Riddle springboard, moonsault, like you said, reversed into midair, and then we see a kick. Also, Sheamus getting busted open from his own move. Sheamus timed that kick pretty well. So those were some of my favorite spots of the night. Yeah. What about you?
Well, the finish goes, like you mentioned, there's one where Riddle hits a top rope belly to belly suplex, and also a jackhammer type of suplex like Goldberg used to use to Sheamus. So to do that on a man that's a little bit bigger than him is very impressive. We do see an Alabama slam being used, which you pointed out to me, which I was very impressed that you were able to do that with that. So you already mentioned the springboard. There was that finish, like you mentioned. There's a springboard, which unfortunately I can't show it to you because there is blood, and YouTube frowns upon me showing you blood. So, but pretty much, Matt Riddle's trying to go for another springboard moonsault at Sheamus. Just gives him the bro kick, and I believe the timing is off or something is off. I'm not sure if Sheamus kicks him right in the near the lip or in his throat, like in the neck area, but that's what causes him to start Matt Riddle to bleed at the end of this match and lose his United States Championship to Matt Riddle.
So Sheamus, 3 times United States champion. I thought this was a solid match, definitely worthy of a revisit. What about you?
I think if you are interested in seeing who Matt Riddle is, it's a match
Bro,
to go back and rewatch. But
bruh.
there is, and I think Matt Riddle's time when he's paired up with Randy and they're known as the Arcade Bros
Mm.
is a better time for you to go back and watch Matt Riddle. Unfortunately, that's near the end of his run at WWE because he is later released because of allegations of
Ooh,
misconduct.
bro.
Yeah, bro, indeed.
Oh,
And with that, we move on to match number 4,
5.
5.
Apollo Crews versus Big E.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were wondering where Big E was earlier from that tag team match, well, he's here. Don't worry. We have this Nigerian drum fight at 6 minutes and 50 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me what you thought about it.
So this match goes, like you mentioned, for 6 minutes and 53 seconds.
Yes.
It's a Nigerian drum fight. I don't remember Apollo Crews having a accent before. He does have Nigerian roots from his parents, but this was like a reverse Kofi Kingston. Like when Kofi debuted, Kofi Kingston, he had a Jamaican background, so he had an accent, a Jamaican accent.
Okay.
So Apollo Crews now has adopted this
Reverse.
So Nigerian accent. Go ahead.
My best spots of this match were that kendo stick duel. So we had kendo sticks. We had sheet metal during this WrestleMania. What else did we have? We had toolboxes. So we got a really good spear from Big E on Apollo through the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
And we also see Commander Aziz debut to help Apollo win. So have you seen Commander Aziz since this WrestleMania?
He was known before to me. His real name is Daba Kato.
Okay.
Or his first wrestling name was Daba Kato. But they had repackaged him for this to be as part of this kind of militant type of helper for Apollo Crews to help him win this Intercontinental Championship here.
So yeah, we see him and somebody's like, "We need a plot twist," and all of a sudden he was there. So I was kind of surprised to see him.
Did they call that the plot twist? We need a plot twist. Oh shit! So not Daba Kato.
Can you imagine if it's like that's how it is? I imagine that's how it is. Like we need more hijinks or like we need a plot twist and then
Hunter, Paul, if you need a better way for the refs to call out the interference, just know that this Maria is offering that for you. Just call out the plot twist. And that's when someone will run out there and interfere whatever they're supposed to go ahead and do.
So I thought this match it's short, intense, a little brutal. We get some steel steps that were also tossed in as well.
Mm-hmm.
Apollo's win with some interference, and we finally get not finally, but we get a choke slam from Dabakato.
Yes, but there are some good spots here, like Maria mentioned to you. Here, we get the smash starting off with kendo sticks, which I don't see how that's Nigerian, but I mean that's pretty cool. Whenever you get kendo sticks starting there, Big E spears Apollo through the ropes, which is a pretty cool spot too. Yeah. There's also a spot where Big E hits an Uranagi on 4 on Apollo Crews on the steps. So this is all pretty cool, like weapons. It's a weapon-driven match, pretty much, as you can see here. And this match is pretty much more of a setup to not only elevate Apollo Crews, but also help him introduce Dabba-Kaito's new character, which would you say Colonel or what was it?
Commander Aziz.
Commander Aziz is and I don't think this gimmick runs for very long too. I don't know why, but
Is this a revisit for you?
this is not a revisit for me.
That's a pass for you.
It is a pass for me.
Been a biggie, but no, not a revisit.
Not a revisit for me.
Okay, 10-4.
And with that, we move on to
match number 6.
But before that, we have the 2021 Hall of Fame inductees. For this, I am limited by the pictures here because
I enjoyed this one. So we get a chance to see Kane inducted.
Yeah, Kane is the headliner, which is very questionable to me because we had Rob Van Dam.
You see, they should have been RVD.
Yeah, but he does have his issues with Vince, which we covered when we did the ECW One Night Stand, the first one, not the other two that proceeded after this One Night Stand was very successful, but the one from 2005.
So Kane.
The Great Khali, which the Great Khali played a very limited giant.
He was a major draw in WWE for some time.
Vince was trying to get the Indian and Pakistani population.
I'm here for all cultures and diversity.
Yeah.
It's awesome to see different wrestlers from different backgrounds. Mm-hmm. And the appeal there, we're here to watch it. Yeah. We look forward to watching it. And it's nice to see someone like whomever and our children watching these wrestlers and saying, hey, that could be me. So
we also had Molly Holly inducted into this year's the 2021 class. Eric Bischoff of
Monday Night Wars is the former head of WCW.
Yes. And last but not least, rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne, who was a highlight for us at WrestleMania 2 when he entered with the British Bulldogs.
And I love one of my favorite songs from him is Crazy Train.
And it's another song that's used currently for the Survivor Series War Games. I believe it's called War Pigs. Really? Is another one that's used currently by the company.
What a weird time. So when these WrestleManias, I feel like there's always coincidences that pop up. So rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. Also, like we talked about,
who? Bray Wyatt or?
Yeah, so he's also in this WrestleMania. Also Hulk Hogan in this WrestleMania. Yeah. So it's just a few like when these WrestleManias pop up for us to do revisits, like coincidences are happening in the year. Anyway, to get off on that tangent, we also have Rich Herring. And he is the recipient of the Warrior Award, recognized for his work behind the scenes and his contributions to the company for many years.
51 years.
51 years?
Yes.
Damn, that's a long time.
I will always make fun of you for being at our company for a very long time. But you have not been there for 51 years.
No, I have not. So I thought that was a pretty solid Hall of Fame, but also like you mentioned questionable because you think RVD should have been the
if not RVD, you can also make an argument for Eric Bischoff.
Okay, I wasn't mad at seeing Kane.
No, with just the route that Kane has gone politically and personally.
Oh, correct. Yes, yeah, but sometimes you have to separate the person from the
talent.
And sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
So, so that is your Hall of Fame for 2021. And with that takes us to the next match.
Yes. Rhea Ripley coming back and chasing another championship versus Asuka for the WWE Raw's Women's Championship.
13 minutes, 30 seconds.
Okay. And Maria, who were you rooting for?
Asuka.
Okay.
And some of my favorite moves from her are that DDT off the apron. I don't know if you're able to capture that, but I thought that was pretty cool. We also get Rhea powering through those submissions and we get a riptide for the win, which was pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty much the riptide is set up off of this when Asuka's giving Rhea Ripley these kicks.
Yes.
So Asuka is continuing to give her signature kicks, kind of like Daniel Bryan-esque, when people would be going yes, yes at this time.
Right.
And Asuka goes to swing off of the ropes or bounce off the ropes and give another kick. And that's when she reverses. She ducks under and reverses it into the riptide for the pin and the win. And Rhea Ripley now capturing the Raw Women's Championship here. So what did you think? Very good match. Would you recommend that people go back and revisit this match? Or
I would definitely recommend you revisit this match. So if we haven't talked about it already, this match was Ripley's star-making moment, where the newcomer defeated the experienced champion. And then after a strong back and forth, we get Ripley securing the win with that riptide, and she establishes herself as a top star. So this match was a revisit for me, and I definitely recommend you watch it.
As for me,
Is it a no?
You're
on the fence.
I am on the fence because it's a very good match, and this is also like the third straight match where they had like a title change. So we had Sheamus beat Matt Riddle, we had Apollo Crews beat Big E, and now we have Asuka lose to Rhea Ripley.
Right.
What I could tell you is that it has some great spots where Asuka hits DDT off of the apron on the floor. That you mentioned, the suplex and the Asuka lock type of thing. If you want to get into like the ground floor, if you haven't for some reason got on the Rhea Ripley fandom, go ahead and watch this match. Also, if for some reason you're not in the Asuka fandom, for some reason, I am a very big fan of Asuka.
You are a big fan of Asuka, so I'm like very curious.
No, it's they had already given her a title run, like an undefeated streak in NXT. She's got a very long title run here. They mentioned here like 226 days with this one. So I feel like they've given her the respect that she needs, but they kind of don't give her like she needed to be stronger. Like for her to just make one mistake as far as over kicking, quote unquote, into and then losing to the first riptide. Like if she kicks out, it makes it look stronger and makes it look like Rhea earned it a little bit more. Like had to.
I get that.
So, is it worth a revisit for me? Like would I recommend it for a new person? Yes, for like I mentioned, like if you want to get into if you want to do more research, as far as like Rhea Ripley and why Asuka is held in high regard in the women's division, this is a reason why I wanted the match, because she's pretty much doing the work for this whole match,
right?
And it's like one of those like heavyweight, like what I can compare this to as far as boxing wise is like Mike Tyson versus Buster Douglas, where Mike Tyson is like has that reputation of knocking people out, and all it took is Buster Douglas one lucky punch to knock out Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So with that takes us to the final
main event of night 2, Edge with Bryan Danielson,
also known as Edge,
now known as Adam Copeland, in the AEW, and
Roman Reigns.
Yep.
Versus Daniel Bryan. Did you just say it?
I said it with his government name, Bryan Danielson. But yes, Daniel Bryan, and he's known in here, as Raymond would say, as his given name by Vince.
22 minutes and 40 seconds. Universal Championship. So we get to see your tribal chief, our tribal chief at his peak dominance.
Yeah, the beginning of the bloodline. They've given you.
This is what I liked about this.
This is he's known as the head of the table in this gimmick, or not gimmick, but in this the highlight reels, or like the heels to give you the backstory. They show him with Alpha comes out to give him the Ulafala. So if you are trying to figure out why the bloodline is where it started, or how it started, or when the package that they give you here pretty much gives you like a short run. But if you wanted to watch where it started, you can go back a little bit more, but WrestleMania 37 will give you the highlight package to go back to and watch.
So Edge, Hall of Famer, returning from retirement.
Yeah, he returned back in WrestleMania 36. Do not go back and rewatch that match that he has, I believe, with Randy Orton.
It was boring, right?
It was a very long and boring match to us. If you disagree, please put it in the comments and tell us why you disagreed and why that is your favorite match out of WrestleMania 36.
Your favorite underdog, Daniel Bryan.
Yes. The American Dragon returns and puts himself into this match.
You remember when he put a compostable toilet inside his home on Divas?
Yes, Total Bellas.
That was one of my favorite moments of that show.
So with this, anything that sticks out to you, would you recommend that people go back and watch this match as a newer person, and why?
Yes.
Yes.
It was definitely a revisit for me. Like you said, we get to see Roman Reigns' trajectory as our tribal chief. Some of my favorite spots of this match were we get a double crossface from Edge and Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
Both submit to Roman at the same time, which was pretty cool. I don't know if you had a chance to capture that. We get a spear versus spear collision.
Yeah.
Roman's stacking Edge and Bryan and pinning them simultaneously. It was also pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then all these wrestlers were like in peak physical condition, which they are in now. But it was just really good to see them like good condition, all wrestling really well, good performance, good story, very cool.
All right. So it's a definite revisit for you. And I also recommend that you go out and revisit. This was a very excellent match. I thought it was one of the best matches, like for the men's wise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think, like, if I'm like, it's like a 1A, 1B, because I really like that Sasha Banks and
that was one of your favorites.
Bianca Belair match. Like, you know, like overall over the 2 nights.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, I can't say which one I like a little bit more.
I can.
You can. But as for me as a fan, I can't make that distinction because they both have. This had no need to be a triple threat match, but they got away with it being a triple threat match. I think they realized the limitation that Edge probably had. Going into this, he was either 47 or 48. Daniel Bryan, I'm sure they were pretty much concerned with him wrestling for a very long time because of his issues with his neck. So nobody had to was able to work for that long, I would say, you know, but they all did a very good job of working off of each other. There's times where it's Edge versus Daniel Bryan, but primarily most of the time it's Roman Reigns dominating with Jay in his corner, and he takes some big bumps, especially when Edge gives him one of those DDTs on the steps and pretty much takes him out to commission until the very end, where Edge thinks he has the winning edge to get him on top. He just gave a concerto to Daniel Bryan. He's going to give one to Roman Reigns, and who comes in to save the day but the right-hand man, main event, Jey Uso. Chase gives him a super kick and takes the chair shot, enough where Roman Reigns recovers, gives him the chair shot, the concerto to Edge, and like Maria said, stacks them up on each other and pins both of the men at the same
Roman
time
said,
for winning
"Acknowledge
the win.
me," then pin
And
two of them.
yeah, if this was very this, like you said, this is the building blocks, beginning run of the bloodline, and they did a very excellent job of establishing Roman Reigns as a very dominant form, and we can see why he goes on for a very long time as our tribal chief and as an undisputed champion.
My man was collecting bodies like he was spring cleaning. I was here for it.
Yeah, so I definitely recommend that you go back and watch this match if you had not gotten a chance to do so as a newer fan or as a returning fan, just to go back and see like the beginning of Roman Reigns and why he's held in high regards, no matter what people think, as far as that he's only been able to win his matches and he's a part-time wrestler because he only shows up once in a while. This is the reason why no one had proven themselves worthy to continue to challenged Roman for the title, and when they did, they ended up losing. So
that's right.
Any final thoughts to this?
I thought overall WrestleMania was pretty solid. We got a lot of good matches, and we got to see Bad Bunny wrestle pretty well. Some celebrity faces. And like you said, peak moments for me were that Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I thought that was pretty cool. So also the Usos, Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan Universal Championship was pretty cool. We talked about that Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. We talked about the Miz versus Damian Priest, Bad Bunny. So, we got to see a lot of good matches. We got introduced to almost that Asuka and Rhea Ripley introduction into her stardom. So I have no complaints about this WrestleMania 37. What about you?
As far as the return to fans at WrestleMania, I mean, this is a pretty good WrestleMania. It wasn't a dud. That we have a lots of duds of matches here. Maybe but it wasn't anything that we would bash this whole WrestleMania. I think it was pretty much even like WrestleMania. There are matches that we could recommend and we could not recommend. That's the whole dynamic between us two. There are matches that I like more as a longtime fan, and Maria likes a little bit more, and they're questionable. So the decision is up to you on whether you want to listen to better advice or not.
Listen to me.
But out of these two nights, for sure, I recommend the first night, Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre, the Damian Priest versus the Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus the Miz and Morrison, based on how to book a celebrity, how to get them inside of a match, and things like that. And definitely just the historical significant, it's not only a historically significant match, but also Sasha Banks and versus Bianca Belair is a very well plotted out match that shows off not only their technical prowess, but also the strength and power of Bianca Belair and builds her up pretty good.
Right.
As for night two, Asuka versus Rhea Ripley is a very good match to watch. It's kind of like a passing of the torch moment to Rhea Ripley, even though we should have gotten also a passing of the torch moment. But I guess when she faced Charlotte Flair, but I'm just saying, since they considered the brand separate, SmackDown is a separate brand
did
compared
we get a
to
Charlotte
Raw.
Flair in this?
Yeah, we did from last year. Or WrestleMania 36.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So with this one, that's kind of, I guess, passing the torch to the Raw brand to Rhea Ripley, and then obviously it's a very good triple threat match. These are one of the few triple threat matches that actually work for a WrestleMania. I think the last one that worked was Daniel Bryan won. I think it was when he won the title. Daniel Bryan, Batista, and Triple H, I believe, was the one. in New Orleans. It was either WrestleMania 32 or 33.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know that in particular, I'm sure you watched it. But feel free to leave it in the comments. If I don't, go ahead and do so. Any parting
No, you want to follow
notes?
us?
If you want to follow us, all of our social medias will be in the notes below. We're on X, we're on Instagram as Revisiting Mania, on Blue Sky Revisiting Mania. If you've listened to us for this long, about an hour plus, thank you. And don't forget to leave a review, preferably 5 stars so we can get more exposure. But if you want to leave an open and honest review, we don't hate on you for doing that as well.
Fax us.
We don't have a fax machine, but they do have those services where you can do a fax to email. And if you want to email, that's
carrier pigeon.
revisitingmania@gmail.com. As for following us, thank you if you subscribe to us. I've been putting up shorts of WrestleManias past. I just finished the 6th one, where Lanny Poffo makes his WrestleMania debut, and he gets a haircut because Mr. Perfect did not want to get a haircut by Brutus the Barber.
You want to TikTok us?
We do not, but if you'd like for us to be on TikTok, let us know, and I'll upload the shorts there as well. Thank you very much, and we hope you had a very happy Thanksgiving and
Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah, National Remembrance Day, I think is what it's called. And
Deuces.